Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears, for I, Anwar, of the famous Anwar and Mawson, is back with another episode of my 1997 review series, and this time, it's Survivor Series 1997. Now this is one of the most talked about pay-per-views of all time. This is a biggie, and I think a lot of you know why. But before I get into it, let's get the end stuff out of the way, shall we, at the beginning. Please hit that subscribe button up above, wherever it is up there, because that way I know that people are watching these videos, I know that people are enjoying these videos, and then you get these videos straight onto your homepage all the time. If you don't have a YouTube account, please just make one, just so you can subscribe to that. It's free, it doesn't take any time, like 2 minutes, and I'll appreciate it. If you tell me down below, and I will appreciate it. Also, if you're watching this and you don't use a comment or whatever, if you can just tell me down below where you actually found this video, then I'd really appreciate it, because I want to know like how people find this video, whether it's from a forum, or whether you subscribe to me, or whether a friend showed it to you, or if it's from you saw it on those videos on the side there, or if it was through me putting as a video response to someone. Please, could let me know down below. I'd really appreciate that, so then I know like what works in terms of getting my videos out there. So yeah, please hit the subscribe button up above, share it to a friend, like or dislike down below depending on what you like. If you dislike it, that's fair enough. And please comment down below your thoughts and all that. So let's get into it, shall we? Survivor Series 1997, Gang Rules. They called it Gang Rules because there were a lot of factions in the WWE at the time. You had the Black group in the Nation of Domination. You had the White South Africans in the Truth Commission. I mean, that is a feud waiting to happen. I don't think they ever did it though. You had the White Biker Gang in the DOA. You had the Boricuas, the Latino Gang. You had the Canadians, the Hart Foundation. So that's 5 groups there. And then you also had DX, who were just coming onto the scene as well. So yeah. So first one, we had the Headbangers and the New Blackjacks versus the New Age Outlaws and the Godwins. Now this was a weird one. This really goes to show the difference between WWE now and the WWF back then, was because all these teams were involved with each other going into this pay-per-view. For example, the Headbangers, they'd been feuding with the Godwins, they'd traded the tag team titles back and forth, and then a few Raws before this, like Billy Gunn had smashed a boombox over the head of Thrasher and bust him all open, so they were like, they had a reason to feud with each other as well. Then the New Blackjacks, they just had their hat stolen by the New Age Outlaws. Now you got to remember, the Outlaws were these like cocky guys who were sort of like do cheeky stuff and like basically just do cheeky stuff to piss you off really, and then like run away scared, and they'd be really angry like, oh, those fucking wankers, they're good, but then they'd run away so you can't get them back. So the New Age Outlaws had stole the Blackjacks' hats, cut the top off them, and like so you just had the rim of it, and they just were holding up to the camera and stuff like that, messing around. And then the Blackjacks and the Godwins were feuding as well. So this match was alright. Standard stuff. The crowd, this was held in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So the Canadian fans were only really interested in the matches which involved the Canadian wrestlers, in all honesty. So it was flat for the rest of the card. Like when you had the eliminations in the Survivor Series matches, for those of you who don't know the traditional Survivor Series rules, check it up. You know, it's teams of 4 or teams of 5, and then it's one by one they get eliminated by either being counted out, pinned, or disqualified, or submitted. And then whoever's the last team with members, when one team is fully eliminated, the other team win. So when guys are getting eliminated, the crowd are just flat. Instead of just booing when the bad guys won a pinfall, or cheering when the good guys got a pinfall, they were just like whatever. And then at the end they sort of did like a woo, sort of generic little cheer. Anyway, winners of this was the heel team, the New Age Outlaws and the Godwins. I think Billy Gunn ended up getting the final pinfall there. Next match, the Disciples of Apocalypse was against the Truth Commission in a match that was pretty bad. The Truth Commission were poor workers, in complete honesty. It was Kurgan, Sniper, Recon, and the Jackal. The Jackal was Cyber Survivors in ECW, if I remember correctly. Kurgan was just a big monster. It seemed to me like he was foreign and he didn't speak English, but I've seen interviews with him and he does speak English. And in fact, he was in the Sherlock Holmes, the first Sherlock Holmes film, you know, the first Hollywood one that they just did a few years ago. So yeah, check him out in that. Bull Buchanan was in it as Sniper, I think his name was. But yeah, they were against the Disciples of Apocalypse, who was the Harris twins, Ron and Don Harris, 8-Ball and Skull, they were called in this. And then Brian Lee, who was the fake Undertaker, and Crush, who was obviously in Demolition. And then he went to WCW's Bryan Adams, and he was with Wrath in Chronic. So So you had this match. This match was pretty flat. Kurgan ended up getting the win, if I remember correctly, for the Truth Commission. In fact, he did. And then at the end, Jackal, who'd been disqualified and then went out to ringside on commentary, like jumped up on Kurgan and started cheering like, yes, yes. And that was a really good celebration. Like, this is a chicken shit heel who'd been battered, was eliminated out of this, and he's got this big muscle guy to win, and then he's going to jump on him and take all the credit for it. Great. Next we had Team America versus Team Canada. Team USA was Vader, Mark Merrill, Goldust and Steve Blackman. Steve Blackman had only just debuted the Raw before this when Vader was being beat on by Team Canada, which was Philip LaFon, Doug Furnas, British Bulldog and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, which is ironic because only one of them was actually Canadian. I think it was Philip LaFon, him or Furnas. I think Doug Furnas was actually American, Philip LaFon was the Canadian. So out of 4 guys, only one of them was actually Canadian, but the crowd were into this because Team Canada was representing Canada. And so yeah, Team Canada were beating up Vader on Raw, and then this guy jumps out of the crowd and starts doing all these like spin kick back heel like trips and all that, and like lots of fun martial arts moves. But then like the commentators are really sounding like, oh my god, there's a fan in the ring, and then Vader and like going all silent like, oh, I don't really know what to do. And then Vader like climbed on top of him, like smothered him, and then like Team Canada were really kicking him, and it sort of looked real. You can tell in hindsight it wasn't, but it was really well worked. So yeah, Blackman had debuted like that. This match basically ended when the British Bulldog, well, Vader had just eliminated, I think it was Doug Furnas. And then while he's got his back turned and the referee's getting Doug Furnas out of the ring, Bulldog nails Vader on the back of the head with the ring bell. The ring bell breaks, Bulldog kicks it out of the ring and then pins Vader. 1, 2, 3. Team Canada are your winners. Funny enough, the winner of the Team Canada, the guy who got the pinfall, was actually a British guy, so they might as well have called it Team UK. Or Team International maybe. Anyway, next match we had the Road Warriors, Ahmed Johnson and Ken Shamrock, against the Nation of Domination, which was Farouk, Rocky Maivia, Cameron Mustafa and D'Lo Brown. Story going into this, obviously Ahmed Johnson had been feuding with the Nation of Domination forever. He actually joined the group and then they kicked him out, which didn't really make sense to me. Why did they make him join in the first place? I don't understand. Shamrock was going into a feud with The Rock, which I think led up to the next WrestleMania. The Road Warriors had been feuding with the Nation of Domination for ages, just because they needed something to do. So they used to put him with Ahmed Johnson to fight against the Road Warriors, and they had so many matches against each other. I know we complain nowadays about the guys facing each other all the time, but the Road Warriors and Ahmed Johnson faced the Nation so many times in 1997, it's ridiculous. Match ends up with, I think it was Shamrock and The Rock in the end together, and then Shamrock has the ankle lock on and Rock taps out like a bitch and Shamrock gets the win. They're really putting Shamrock over because Shamrock had come from the UFC. Now the UFC wasn't the same animal it is today where it's like a huge mainstream product. It was sort of underground, but it was well respected then, just like it is now. So because Shamrock had come from this real life UFC, they were sort of pushing him towards the top of the WWF, like, no, this is a real top guy, this guy's an arse kicker. Sort of like what they're doing with Brock Lesnar now, but, well, Brock Lesnar's a totally different story because he's been WWE champion before, so they're booking him massively strongly. Whereas with Ken Shamrock, they were like making him go from the bottom up, you know what I mean? And like, with the view of like putting him towards the world title scene in the next few years, which never really came on. But yeah, Shamrock got the win over The Rock, and that was pretty decent. Next we had Kane versus Mankind in a very good match. Not technically a very good match, but the story they told was fantastic. Kane was this monster. He debuted at the last pay-per-view by ripping the cell door off and attacking his brother The Undertaker. Undertaker wouldn't fight him though, but Mankind wanted to fight him because Mankind was with Paul Bearer, but then Paul Bearer turned his back on him and started siding with Kane. So Mankind wanted to fight him, so Kane, this is something that works really well. If you're trying to get someone across as a monster, you put them in the ring with someone who can really bump. Somebody like Mick Foley, who doesn't care what you do to his body. Kane chokeslammed him off the top rope onto the concrete outside. Kane pushed him off the ring and through a table. Kane threw him into the ring steps. You've got to remember, this is 1997. We're not really seeing much stuff like this before. This was ECW stuff. In fact, the fans were chanting, ECW, ECW, in that sort of French-Canadian accent that they have. That I think is really cool, to be honest. So yeah, Kane destroys Mankind. It's a hellacious chokeslam and then a massive tombstone at the end. And then Mankind spread out like Jesus on a cross. And Kane holds his arms down, flicks his hair back like The Undertaker. 1, 2, 3. Kane is your winner. He's destroyed Mick Foley in this match. Semi-main event. Owen Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. The storyline going into this, obviously, Stone Cold had already had his problems earlier on in the year with Bret. That had continued, but then he'd been thrown into a feud with Owen Hart for the IC title. At SummerSlam, Owen Hart legitimately broke Steve Austin's neck when they had a spot planned out, and Austin said to Owen Hart, "Listen, I've seen this spot go wrong in the past. Please, when you tombstone me, do it onto your knees and not onto your ass, because if you do it onto your ass, you might hurt me." Austin did that to Masahiro Chono in Japan, and he broke his neck. Well, karma ended up coming back around and biting him in the ass, because Owen Hart ended up doing this to Austin, where he hits the power driver, does it onto his ass. Austin's head is about that far under his legs, and just goes smack onto the floor. The compression broke his neck. They ended up finishing that match. Then going into this, Owen was doing the Owen 316 gimmick where he's stolen it off Austin, and he's wearing the black shirt with the white lettering, and he's going around saying, "Owen 316 says I just broke your neck," and it was really good heel heat. I don't think Austin was quite so with it though at the time, because he always had heat with Owen after this, up until when Owen died, and probably still to this day. I don't think he's ever actually forgiven him for what he did to him, dumping him on his neck. I've read Austin's biography, and still even in that he was critical of what Owen did to him. So yeah, this match, they had to work it in a way, because Austin had just come back from that. This was 3 months ago when he got his neck broken. Maybe it's just 2 months ago. They brought him back really quickly, so they had to do a match where he didn't have to really do a lot in the match. So there's a lot of outside interference where Austin was stunning basically all Owen Hart's friends like Fernless, LaFon, Anvil, Bulldog and all them. And then Austin ends up getting the win, wins the IC title, and vanquishes Owen Hart, beats him finally, gets his comeback. Now, here we go, main event time. Shawn Michaels has his chance. He is in a world title match with the current reigning champion, Bret the Hitman Hart. The story's flying around that Bret Hart's been talking to WCW and might be jumping ship. But we're not worried about that. Bret Hart won't go, will he? I don't think so. It's just rumours. It's just rumours. We won't put too much credit into that. Although a lot of people are jumping ship at this time, Bret's got a long-term contract with the WWE. That's the rumour going around. There's a camera crew going around filming a documentary about Bret Hart, and it just so happens that he maybe leave the WWF towards the end of this. That's a bit dodgy in my opinion. So we have this match. Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels. Bret, the champion, the face. Shawn Michaels, the heel. Building into this, they'd brought a lot of real life stuff and put it into this match and put it into this feud. They took a lot of the real life drama between the two and put it into this storyline. This is a perfect example of life imitating art, imitating life. This was Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels taking their real life frustrations and broadcasting it for everyone in the world to see. In real life, Bret was the WWE's main guy, and Shawn Michaels was probably the second best at the time. Vince McMahon wanted to put Shawn Michaels on top, and I think he was paying Shawn less than what he was paying Bret Hart. Shawn and Bret always had this thing of who's the better wrestler, who's better. Obviously they had different styles. Shawn was a bit more high flying, whereas Bret was more technical based. They'd always feuded back and forth because who wants to be the top face, and then finally Shawn Michaels ended up turning, well, they both ended up turning heel. They both became tweeners. This was the Attitude Era. This is when everyone started to blur the line. Are they good guys? Are they bad guys? Who really knows? Again, going into it, the promos back and forth, they'd bring up real life topics and put it into the show, and this made it real. This took it away from just being a wrestling storyline, and this made it become something that you don't really want to see. You don't really want to see two guys barely going after each other. To be fair, they were both very professional in their in-ring work, but in their promo work, I think Shawn Michaels especially was unprofessional. Shawn Michaels at the time was sleeping with Sunny. Bret Hart was then, well, Shawn Michaels said basically, Bret, we all know that you're shagging Sunny, but he basically said this. He said, Bret, we all know you've been having your sunny days lately. Now it might be I think it was Shawn Michaels just being paranoid, thinking that Bret was sleeping with his woman because they'd had all these problems, and maybe Sunny had flirted with Bret and maybe said a few things to Shawn like, oh, I think he's quite hard or whatever. So he said that, and that caused real life friction between the two because Bret was married at the time, and Bret's wife probably thought, you know what, there's this hot woman walking around, there's this Sunny, and then she obviously wants my husband because he's a champion, look at him. She's going to want my husband. So then that caused friction between Bret and his wife. And then Bret's wife and Shawn, and then Shawn and Bret. This was a huge thing in the time. And Shawn Michaels accused Bret Hart of being a mark by on camera, saying, Mark, calling him a Mark, man. Oh, you think all this is yours, Mark, man. Basically saying you think all this is real and then you've earned all this. A lot of stuff went into this feud. They even ended a segment on Raw where they were talking to each other, and they went so long that Raw went off the air before they even got the payoff for it. Before they ended their promo, Raw went off the air. I'm blabbering on about this, but there's so much. This is my favourite moment in wrestling history, this match, and because of what happened. Not because I like it, just because how interesting it is. The match happened. Bret and Shawn go at it. They battle outside the ring before the bell even goes. Bret throws Shawn Michaels over the barricade. The fans are so rabid. They're hitting Shawn Michaels as well. They will not let Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels get any further, so he has to just throw him back over the barricade. They fight down the ramp. Vince McMahon's going, get back in the ring, damn it. So they finally do. They battle for about 10 minutes in the ring. And Shawn Michaels, out of nowhere, gets a sharpshooter on Bret. And the commentators say, whoa, he's not going to be able to beat Bret with his own move. What's he doing? Little did they know that Bret's submitting now. I personally didn't see it when I was watching, but whatever, because Earl Hebner's like, ring the bell, ring the bell. You're going to submit, ring the bell, ring the bell. Jumps out of the ring, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Why is Earl Hebner running out of the ring? I didn't see Bret submit, but maybe he did. He maybe just said it to him, and like, because at that time they didn't do tap outs, he just used to submit. Like, yes, I give up, I quit. Bret's not grabbing all this, like, Earl Hebner's asked them to ring the bell. The bell's rang. Bret's now grabbing hold of Shawn Michaels' leg. As Shawn Michaels gets up, he trips Shawn Michaels up. Shawn Michaels falls flat on his face, and then Bret slowly lets go of him. Shawn Michaels is going, fuck, fuck. Climbs out of the ring and he's going, fuck, fuck. Walks past Vince McMahon. Bret Hart he's now got his hands on his hips, and I know this because I've seen it 1,000 times. And he's got his hands on his hips and he's looking. And Vince McMahon stood just outside the ring, and Bret Hart leans his arms on the ropes and goes, oh, spits right in the face of Vince McMahon, and we see it live on the Survivor Series. And now Triple H and Gerald Briscoe are out at ringside, and Shawn Michaels has gone and he's got the world title from where the ring bell guy is. And now he's walking back, and Triple H grabs him, and he's like trying to show it to the fans, and he's going, fuck, fuck. And Gerald Briscoe's like saying, get out of here, move, 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 get out of here, move. And Shawn Michaels finally gets out there, and then he finally does this with the world title, and it shows him in the entranceway. It shows the Survivor Series, the big logo above him, and it shows him with the world title, and then it goes off the air. Bret Hart has just been screwed by the company he works for. This would be the Bret Hart's last ever match in the WWF. He ended up having one match in the WWE many years later, but it's not a proper match in my opinion. This is Bret Hart's last proper ever match for the WWF. What do you guys think of this show? Now I really want to know. I'm not going to go too much into the whole Screwjob thing and give my opinions on it just yet, because it's such a big thing that when I do that video, I want to have all the facts. I want to re-watch the Rivalries DVD. I want to reread his biography, because I want to hit that video out the park. I want that to be my biggest viewed video. At the moment, my most viewed video is 3,000 views for 10 reasons why The Rock sucks. And that is a parody video. If you want to go back and watch that, that is a parody video. Go and enjoy it for what it is. A lot of people go on there and go, oh no, The Rock doesn't suck. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm taking a piss for those people who don't understand. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. If you want to see me do that Montreal Screwjob video, then comment down below and say get it up quickly, because then I will read the book over the next few days, I'll watch the DVD, and then I will get that video out as soon as possible. Whereas if you're not that interested, then I'll just upload it like at my own leisure. But that is one video I really want to do. But if you want to see it really quickly, then I will do it really quickly for you guys, because you are the viewers. And without you, there's no point in me even doing these videos. But yeah, thank you for watching. Like I said before, comment, subscribe, rate, share it to a friend, all that good stuff. Put it on your Facebook, all that. Let wrestling fans see it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very soon with some more videos.